Hi, what is up, you guys? And welcome back to another video, or welcome to my channel if this is the first video you're watching. This is my February, what I read in February. I know words. What I read in February for this month. So, let's get it started. For starters, I read Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. When I tell you, I love this so much. Okay, so I am not doing the order that some people do. Some people read Assassin's Blade first instead of this, but I read this one first, and I'm almost halfway through Assassin's Blade, and I feel like that order works for me. Which I didn't just go to Assassin's Blade. I read this one, then I read Crown of Midnight. Yeah, okay, we're skipping a little ahead, but I read this one, and for anyone who doesn't know, Throne of Glass is basically more fantasy than romance, as ACOTAR is. Which, they have a lot of interesting things going on, and this one is one of the best ones so far that I've read. The second book I read was Something in Death. It's the 7th book of the In Death series, or 7th or 8th of the In Death series by J.D. Robb, which is Nora Roberts. I want to say the 7th. And basically that whole entire series is you follow Eve Dallas, and I really love that series. She's still publishing the books. There's like 50 something of them, but you go with Eve on the different missions that she's solving in like 2050 or something. So like they have all this technology and stuff, and it's really interesting if you like that kind of stuff. Like they have like VR and like flying cars and all this stuff, and it's really cool to see. I really liked it. I did have a suspicion about the person who did the killing in this one, and I was right, but only after more twist. So I really liked that. It was very eventful. Alright, so yeah, and they're a quick, easy read. All of them are about 300, I think, pages or something like that. I think the later ones might be longer. I don't know. I have them in hardback. The first ones I have in paperback, though, like the original paperbacks. Alright, the second book I finished this month was Crown of Midnight. And I love this one because if you haven't read it, just skip a little bit ahead. I love it, but it gave me emotions I didn't want. If that makes sense. It gave me emotions I didn't want, but it further added to the story of Celaena and Chaol and Dorian and all of them. Oh, say hello to Chloe. She's sleepy. The fourth book I finished this month was My Fierce Obsession. It's the fourth and final book in Sadie Kincaid's L.A. Ruthless series. And it follows Lucia and Jax, who the third book is also about, but she's the daughter of the couple that is the first and second book about. But basically they're like mafia family romance stuff going on. I really enjoyed that series, and I am currently trying to work through the New York Ruthless, which is the Ryan brothers, and then I have yet to start the Chicago Ruthless ones, which might be next on my list because I don't want the Ryan brothers to end. I was very sad. when I was very sad at the end of that one because you got to see like life afterwards, and it made me sad. The fifth book, not 10, fifth book I finished this month was My Captor's Desire by Nova Angel. I am on an ARC team for KL Wyatt, and this is her new, it's her pen name for a different, because it's a different kind of romance. It's a stalker romance novella. It's only about 70 pages or so, but it was a really nice, like, short read. Like, I got what I was expecting from it. And then the sixth book that I finished, and the final book that I finished for this month, was A Court of Silver Flames. I don't know how to feel. I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed it being from other people's point of view other than Feyre and Rhys, but there are some points that I was curious about how they were thinking. Like, in certain points, there were times I was like, oh, I wonder what her perspective on it is. Where, if you've read A Court of Frost and Starlight, it switches POVs between most of them. Like, I know there's Morgan, Rhys, Feyre, and Cassian. It switches. And maybe Nesta? I'm not entirely sure. But it does switch POVs. And I was kind of hoping that this did the same, but it didn't. It just switched between Nesta and Cassian. And I really like their story. Their story, I feel, is... I can't find the words. I have a feeling that this is just the beginning of their story, if that makes sense. Where, like, with Feyre and Rhys, you had A Court of Mist and Fury, but then you also had ACOWAR with them, A Court of Wings and Ruin. You also had that book from their point of view, and it further delved into their relationship and going through all that stuff. So I feel like either the next book will be Elaine, or it's gonna be another from their point of view. So I feel like that's where I'm at. Is I love this. I enjoy that her found family was different than Feyre's found family. Feyre's found family, she was brought into. Nesta's was made just like her. And I think that's beautiful, is that you got to see that. I did not like Nesta beforehand. I did not. But I didn't hate her. Quite a few people go into this book hating her, and I couldn't hate someone that I had a slight connection to, if that makes sense. So when you read this and you read that she, like, so much of it made a connection to me, obviously not the same circumstances or anything, but being so angry that you end up taking out on people that you don't mean to, it related to me, and it made me want to root for her, if that makes sense. This book does spark some interesting theories out there as well. I'm excited for what's to come. I liked this a lot because I really connected to it. So that's where I'm at, right? That was what I read in the month of February. Yes, it was half dominated by Sarah, but I don't know what to say. I have been into fantasy. This fantasy. But yeah, so that's what I read this month, and I'm hoping to maybe I read 6. So I read 5 in January. So I am hoping maybe I can one up myself again and read 7, potentially. I do remember doing a February TBR in my last what I read monthly. And I know A Court of Silver Flames was on it, but I also know I didn't read the other book that I wanted to complete, which is Lover Unbound by J.R. Ward. So that is one of the books at the top of my list after The Assassin's Blade, because I'm trying to like mix them in. So I'm hoping to get back to that. Other than that, I don't really have any like planned TBR because I don't end up following it. I try to. I do have a stack of books on my shelving that I want to get to by the end of the year. At the moment, I'm probably most likely going to finish Assassin's Blade, do Lover Unbound, and then I'm going to read It's Barbarian's Mate by Ruby Dixon. I can't remember what number book it is, but that one, I want to read it because I want to get the other special edition one that's out and cover now. But yeah, so what did you guys read this month? If you read anything interesting, or if there's any books you think I would like that are similar, or just something that you love, comment it below because I'm open to more books all the time. My TBR might be 1,000, including my Kindle, but I'm not gonna talk about that. So if you like this video, leave a comment, a like, follow, you know, the works. But yeah, until next time, guys, bye.